Hello, this is Redithin, and welcome to week 1 of the GPC. Like with the TBU, I got the draft analysis is coming. I guess it's a thing now to release week 1 before draft analysis for me, but you know, I'm just that great. But like I got like all the graphics and everything done. Just gotta record it, put it together. But since I'm kind of like strapped for time here with the upload deadline here, kind of gotta get this out now. So yeah, I'll hopefully try to get this up like fair tomorrow, and then I'll get the TBU draft analysis up before my week 1 battle, which will be up on Tuesday. But enough of that. That's not what this video is about. This video is about week 1 of the GPC against Mio and the Oklahoma City Thundurus. First time I believe we played Mio, and funny enough, we are playing it. We were playing him with his favorite Pokemon, Zygarde 50. So yeah, I'll flash my team up here as well as Mio's. So you know what we're dealing with right now. But basically, I had first overall pick, and I picked Zygarde, and Mio was not happy about that because he has drafted Zygarde like more than anyone. But yeah, so we have it now, and we're facing Mio, and so pretty much I just brought like a fully offensive set with 1,000 arrows, crunch, e-speed, and Dragon Dance. Originally, I had like a sub coil Dragon Dance 1,000 arrow set, but I kind of changed this at the last minute because I realized that my team doesn't actually my team actually kind of struggles to check kind of his more of his like hyper offense kind of a style with his draft. So I thought that that this would actually be a bit better. So we got just enough speed to outspeed his Swallow at +1 with that 64 speed, and we got the rest in attack and HP, so we can do as much damage as possible and live as much hits as possible. So yeah, pretty much my strategy here was just kind of wear down his team as much as I can for this thing to come in and win, because his team actually really loses to Zygarde if I play it right. So yeah, next up is the Mega Pinsir with Return Quick Attack, Close Combat, and Swords Dance. And this thing was mainly here because everything that Zygarde doesn't like, Pinsir does like, and of course that's the whole reason I drafted these two together. They're just great, great on the same team. Of course, Pinsir hits the Decidueye and the Rabombi, or as Mio affectionately calls, Rombimbo. It hits both of those, or actually like Oko's both of those, and then also checks the Gallade, which can carry Ice Punch, of course, which can also be not fun for Zygarde and overall. My team in general, just except for the Spiritomb. Spiritomb doesn't really mind Gallade that much, but it's nice to have a bit more offensive pressure against it. And yeah, Pinsir pretty much just forces out / threatens like everything that threatens Zygarde, so it's pretty nice. Then I got the Close Combat over the EQ because it lets me hit the Rotom, and in case the Heatran is like Shuka Berry, then I do like a ton of damage to that. So that's really nice. Next up is the Spiritomb with the Roselli Berry, and that's Pursuit, Sucker Punch, Pain Split, and Shadow Ball. This thing was mainly here for the Decidueye, because Decidueye, if I was able to get enough damage on it with the Pursuit, then eventually at +1, the Crunch from the Zygarde would be able to knock it out. So I just wanted to get as much damage as I could of that as possible, as well as the Rabombi. That's why I actually have the Roselli Berry, because Rabombi is another thing that can take 1,000 arrows and a crunch, and yeah, it'd be a bad time if that were to sweep me. So I just got the Roselli Berry on there just for the Rabombi, so be able to do as much damage as I can with Shadow Ball, because that could potentially be bad. And then yeah, so we got the Sucker Punch just because Sucker Punch, Shadow Ball, just because Shadow Ball pretty much hits everything. And Sucker Punch is really nice for stuff like the Tornadus and all that. That will and the Mega Gallade, it can force that out a bit. Just be more offensively threatening, because a lot of his team does not want to take a Sucker Punch, like the Zygarde, the Gallade, the Tornadus, and even Rabombi doesn't want to take too much, because of course it has to be healthy for the Zygarde. Next up is the Shaman. And this is Spidef Shaman with Seed Flare, Earth Power, Toxic, and Synthesis. This was my main switch-in for Rotom, because Rotom actually, my team does not like Rotom at all. I don't really want to switch anything in on a Will-O-Wisp, and and if it decides to be offensive, then that's gonna hurt a lot because I have no water resist. So I really wanted a Shaman there because it does not care about Rotom at all. And then Seed Flare plus Earth Power plus Toxic actually deals with like everything. Of course, the Earth Power hits the Heatran, and the Fortress. Seed Flare hits everything else, and then Toxic is for the Decidueye. It just has Synthesis to keep recovering it more. So yeah, this thing can also take some hits from Heatran if need be, and yeah, overall, Ro's just a pretty cool guy. Oh, and the Primarina. I can't forget the Primarina. I really wanted this for that too because like what of my team switches into like a Specs Primarina. Yeah, so that's another reason I had that. Next up is our Swampert with Earthquake, Avalanche, Stealth Rock, and Roar. This thing was literally my only thing that could take 2 Outrages other than the Klefki from Zygarde. Of course, Klefki doesn't like Zygarde because 1,000 arrows. So 2 banded Outrages for a Zygarde. So the Swampert was just kind of my insurance there to make sure I don't get absolutely dicked by that. So we got the Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Avalanche, and Roar, like I said. Earthquake hits most of his team, Avalanche hits everything else. Then we just got the Stealth Rock because rocks are really nice, especially like I said for like the Rabombi and stuff. And the Tornadus, because Tornadus is also kind of a huge threat to my team if I'm not careful. And then we just got the Roar in case he's like some like setup set with Gallade or whatever. I really just didn't have like anything better to put on there, so I just like split Roar because that's nice. Oh, and like bulk up on like Tornadoes could potentially be bad and all that, so I didn't really want to deal with that, so I just put Roar in there. And then we got Damp. Damp. I was really hoping he'd bring like Explosion on Fortress, but unfortunately he didn't even bring Fortress, so sad. But yeah, I didn't need Torrent because I have no water moves. And finally, we have Klefki with Player of Spikes, Light Screen, and the Thunder Wave, Spadef. This thing was really like my only switch-in for Tornadus, so I really wanted to get like the Light Screen on there because it'll let me pretty much take like literally anything from that thing. And then Light Screen's also nice because it lets stuff like Swampert and Zygarde and Shaman all take hits from stuff like Heatran and Co better. So yeah, I mainly just wanted this for like that. Like it also discourages from Zygarde from going for Outrage. So Klefki's just pretty much here just because of its typing. But yeah, Light Screen's really nice. T-Wave just slows like the Tornadus and the Gallade down, and the Heatran. Be nice to get T-Wave off on that if I can. And then we got Spikes and Play Rough. Play Rough, of course, for the Zygarde and the Gallade, and then just Spikes because he kind of doesn't have that much removal. He has a Fortress and a Decidueye. Fortress, of course, like if you look at my team, really does nothing, so I'm not afraid of the Fortress. And the Decidueye just gets trapped by the Spirit Tube. So anytime I can pressure him to try to remove hazards, the better. And if not, then I just have a lot of hazards up. So yeah, that's the team. Let's go into the battle. See what he brought. He brought more or less what I expected. He didn't bring the Gallade, which I kind of thought he would bring. I thought the Gallade and the Decidueye were gonna be there most likely, but he did bring the Beware, which was kind of interesting. But that thing does check the Zygarde if it's Fizz Def, even though Fluffy doesn't actually block 1,000 arrows. It's still really bulky and it has Ice Punch. So yeah, but yeah, this. So going in, I was just like, don't get swept by the Tornadus, don't get swept by the Rabombi, and we're good. So, so I kind of, yeah. So let's just go. I'll let the battle speak for itself here. So, leading off, I lead off with the Zygarde as he leads off with the Tornadus. I lead off with the Zygarde because because his only thing that could set up rocks was the Heatran, and I really didn't want the Heatran to do that because. Anytime I can keep rocks off the field, the better, since I have like a pincer and stuff, and I have no way to remove them. So yeah, and of course I got the Lumberry, so even if it decides to like burn me or something, then it can't even do that. But I'm actually going to switch out here, fearing the Icy Wind, because I know it can get that. And just looking at this matchup, Zygarde does really, really well, so I just want to keep that thing as much health as possible. As it goes for the U-turn, and does a bit of damage as it goes into the Heatran. That's fine. I don't really care because Zygarde, like I said, it's got the Lumberry. It doesn't really care what this thing's gonna go for. Actually, it goes for the Stealth Rock here. So I'm actually just going to go for the 1,000 arrows. I could have gone for the D-Dance. However, like I thought that would like, because I knew the Beware could probably take one, or I knew it could take one and then like kill me with an Ice Punch probably, so I didn't really deal with that. So I just go for 1,000 arrows and I get like a lot of damage on this Beware. He actually told me after the battle he meant to be like Fizz Def, but he accidentally was a max attacker, like he meant to do, I don't know, something happened. He wanted to be Fizz Def, but he was actually like max attack. But that's actually really nice for me because that Beware takes a lot. So I'm going to go into the Klefki here because he can take a return, he can take an Ice Punch, I don't really care. As I'm just going to actually set up a spikes here, I believe. Yeah, go for the spikes. This Rotom I don't really care about. I can just set a light screen on it as he goes to the Hydro Pump, and that does absolutely zero. That's actually why they had the leftovers here of like the light clay or anything, because I can just keep like recovering back up on stuff like that. It usually burns me, which is unfortunate, but I do get all my layers of spikes up, which is really, really nice. So now pretty much the Beware is dead the next time it tries to come in on Zygarde, so that's really, really nice for me. So I'm gonna go into the Swampert here, as I do take the Dragon Tail as an interesting play there by Bio. Of course I wasn't gonna stay in, but Dragon Tail Zygarde's pretty interesting. But yeah, so he's just going to Dragon Tail me out into the Shaman. Shaman does not care about this thing, so I'm actually just gonna fire off this Seed Flare as I get a nice 28% off on the Tynamos. And here I'm actually just going to go into Klefki and pretty much sack it, as he does take the Hurricane, as he gets a crit and a Confusion, which is pretty unfortunate, so that kind of sucks. But thankfully I don't get hit myself, but I go for the T-Wave because he predicts that, goes to the Rotom. So I'm actually going to preserve my Klefki, maybe as fodder, or maybe I can get like a Light Screen up later or something, or a T-Wave. So I decided to keep it around because I really have no reason to sack it when a Shaman just takes anything from this thing. As he actually does Volt Switch out into the Tornadus. And here at this point, I do just decide to sack the Klefki. This is where the crit actually was kind of unfortunate, because I think I might have been able to live another one. I don't know. I didn't really help. Here, actually decide to make a play. I go for the Pursuit on the Tornadus, and the reason I do that was because I really wanted that thing weakened, because if that thing is Scarf, which I thought there was a chance at that point, because like I have a Pinsir. Actually, no, it doesn't matter for the Pinsir, because it's like the only thing that can outspeed like Zygarde at +1 on his team. I figured there was a good chance he was Scarf, so I really wanted to get some damage on that. So after I D-Dance, I can actually like kill it with E-Speed. So yeah, pretty much at this point in the battle, I'm just trying to weaken enough stuff so Zygarde can come in and sweep. So I actually he actually switches out, and I do get the Pursuit, and that's really, really good for me. Even if he decided to stay in, I still would have gotten some really good damage on it. So I didn't really. So either way, like Pursuit was the play. So I'm actually gonna go back into Shaman here as he decides to burn me this time. And this is really fine for me. Like a Shaman does not care about burns; it has a natural cure. So I'm free to really just fire off a Seed Flare as here I believe I do decide to, yeah, I do switch out. I go into the Zygarde because a fire move, Zygarde can eat it. If he burns me, I have the Lumberry. Actually goes for the Lava Plume here. Thankfully I don't get the burn, so I actually do get the chance to set up a D-Dance here. So I got to set up the D-Dance. He actually clicks Toxic, so he didn't even have the Will-O-Wisp. So we're really good. We're at +1. This Heatran, we are not status. This Heatran cannot take 1,000 arrows, even if it is Shuka Berry. So I could have gotten another D-Dance up so I could ensure the kill on the Rabombi. However, I knew if I did that, then he would be able to get the Toxic up and possibly kind of like play around a bit and eventually take me out. So I was down to mess around with that, or if he could like Lava Plume and like get the burn or anything. So I decided to go for the safe damage. I do go for the 1,000 arrows, and that does kill through the Shuka Berry. And it's pretty much just Zygarde time, as he tries to go for Last Ditch Ever here with like the Scarf Tornadus, but I have the E-Speed, so that's where the Pursuit really came through for me. He goes into the Beware, but with the prior damage and the spikes, he's going to drop to 1,000 arrows. And here goes into his Rombimbo, and the Rombimbo, I knew that if it was Specs, it was going to kill me. However, given the fact that he just brought it in now after sacking in like 2 of his things, I assumed this thing probably wasn't Specs, and if that's the case, then it actually had like no chance to kill me. So I could go for the E-Speed and just either get like a crit or like 2 KO it. But either way, this Rabimbo is going to die here pretty much. So yeah, I decided just to stay in and like and risk it anyway, even if somehow he was Specs, because in like the chance that he was, then a pincer still wins anyway. So there really was no reason to like risk like really was no reason like not to risk it here, because either way I still won this game. So I do it for the E-speed and I actually do get the crit.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Later he told me that he was the Quiver Dance set, so it didn't matter in the end. So he goes into Zygarde here. I'm going to go for E-speed and take that out. And then now he goes in the Rotom, and that's just going to drop to 1,000 arrows. So yeah, we end up... So week 1, we end up sweeping Mio with his favorite Pokemon. So sorry, Mio, but you know that's how it goes. Yeah. So the last minute change ended up really paying off for me here. Just kind of like seeing how this draft is kind of like trying to shape out. It seems definitely to be much better as more of like an offensive draft like this. So in the future, I'm probably going to try to do more like offensive sets like this. But yeah, we're truly seeing the power of Zygarde 50 here. It is a good mon. So yeah, week 1 we win 5-0, a great start. Also getting a 5-0 in the TBU week 1. So if you haven't seen that battle, oh, I just spoiled it. But if you haven't seen it yet, check that out too. But yeah, we're doing good. I also got a really special announcement coming up that has actually not been officially announced yet. It might be by the time this video is uploaded, but I'm just gonna play it safe. But that I'm very excited to announce that when I can. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. This has been Reddithin, and I will see you in the next video, which is hopefully the draft analysis, because I really gotta do that. But yeah, thank you so much, and goodbye.